Hello, good morning everyone. Let me set up this chat and feel free to say hi if you are here. And I'm just moving this around. Pop-up chat. Let's see. Okay, that should work. Okay. We'll move this down a little bit more. Okay. It's kind of in the way, is it? Hello, welcome. If anybody who's here, feel free to say hi in the chat. And morning. Maybe let me make this bigger as well. Okay. How does this one work? Okay, the live stream seems working. It says excellent condition. And alright, let's get it started. We have 15 minutes, so anybody have any UX questions, feel free to shoot in the chat and I will go over them one by one. Stream health. Yep. If not, we will just be hanging out here for a little bit. Video, stream marker, interesting. Let's see. Views. How does this work? Say hi in the chat. And here are UX questions. So this chat, oh, I haven't sent it out yet, have I? I have, okay. So this chat will end at, this chat will end at 9, let's just give it a buffer, let's just say let's end at 9:20, so 9 minutes left for those who join. Oh, hello, Sabash, correct me if I sing your name incorrectly. Hello, welcome, and well, I guess you're the first one who is here and answering questions or asking questions. So feel free to ask away anything that you need to know, want to know, anything bothering you, confusing you. Yeah, I'm here to answer that. Answer your questions. Yeah, and if anybody else who is here, feel free to say hi in the chat so I know you are here, because I have no idea who's in the chat, who's watching, who's not. And you can just watch, observe, see what questions people ask, or you can also participate and help resolve some of your bothering issues or confusing career path. Yeah. So let's see, first question from Subash. How many years are you in this industry? in the design industry, UX industry, UI industry, but I guess I've only been working professionally as a UX/product designer. So my first internship was in 2015. So that made me what, 7 years in. But internships and full times are technically different. So you can count all of my 5 internships as maybe 1 or 2 years of experiences. So like 2 there, I've done some research in school for research lab, so that also counts as professional experiences. So maybe internships and research project will count as 2 years, and then I've been working since 2019. So 2020, 2021, 2022, so 5 years. Yeah, 5 years working as a product designer, UX designer. Yeah, not too long, but accumulating some experiences. Yeah, hope that answers your question. And question number 2. Is it a good option to start UX now, or is the industry going down? Personally speaking, I don't think UX is going down anytime soon or anywhere. Even though somebody's challenging like the Chat GPT is going to take over the world, it's amazing tool. It's impressive the way that they have gotten so far. But I think UX overall, UX, UI design, product design, they're gonna stay for a while for a few reasons. One, UI UX projects, screen-based interfaces, are going to, you're gonna see more and more of those because there are more apps, more services, more companies, or more new startups or companies coming up in the future or coming in the future. There will be a lot of those tools. Any of those tools will need, ideally, proper and good design. A lot of the apps and services that you see or use is called consumer facing products. I will use, you see, everybody uses, your family, your friends will use. There's also another huge set of products that we don't see at all most of the time. These are like enterprise softwares. These are internal tools that they use within companies, between companies. So when those tools are getting, when there are more and more companies, startup companies creating those tools and services, there will be more designs needed. They will hire more UX designers to fit into those roles. Especially UX design is getting more and more recognition, and people are seeing the importance, the impact, the value of it. Then that's when they will start to hire more designers in the future for those roles. And yeah, maybe so that's like one side of things. And the Chat GPT, that kind of AI generative designs, those are great. You will mostly use it as a tool to help you design. I wouldn't say it will completely replace design for mainly 2 reasons. One, they can only cover the very basics, and when you get more and more niche in an area as a company, as a software, internal tools, enterprise software, those basics are not going to cut it. There's not going to be more and more unique feature sets, product requirements that need human to think about and design. 2, ChatGPT doesn't have the same level of creativity that we do. That's why also those 2 points are related. That makes that means that tool is not going to eliminate designers, at least for now, what I've seen. So, yep, that's my take. UX is not going away. I think it's still a good time to start UX. If you're concerned about layoffs happen all the time across all industries. It just happened to be tech this year or so. And maybe it's actually a good opportunity to start, so that when the market recovers, they start to hire more new grads and new hires. That's when the fresh blood can come in. So that's that. Okay, next question. I really have this question that comes to my mind every time. When will user research come? Product cycle or empathy phase? Product cycle or empathy phase? So I'm gonna start explaining or babbling about that one. But while I'm trying to figure that out myself, can you elaborate on what do you mean by when it will come in product cycle or empathy phase? Do you mean like pick one or the other, like product cycle or empathy phase? But let me see if I can tackle that question. So user research technically come in a lot of places in a product development cycle. Let's say product development cycle include you have nothing to have a product shipped to the consumer, to the customers, to the users, to the clients, to the end users. Okay, so in the beginning, maybe the product managers or leaderships or even design will have an idea of we should do this because of ABCD reasons. For business, to solve a pain point, users are complaining, it's a problem, it's an issue. And then to verify those issues or to gain more insight into those issues or to validate those issues, to confirm those issues, to confirm those problems, that's when you have the first touch point of user research. You would do maybe discovery research, discover what is wrong, what exactly is wrong in that problem, or kind of things you identify could be an issue. So you do run a set of research, or maybe even the problem is not really a problem. For example, like self-driving car. So the problem you can argue is safety, or you can argue that it's getting from point A to point B at a cheaper, reliable way. You don't know whether people accept or understand or are willing to jump into a self-driving car. So that's also discovery research to find out, okay, what people's sentiments, what their opinions towards self-driving cars. Do they like it? Do they not? Are they concerned about it's gonna just jump off the cliff, or is it gonna really be careful, stop at every stop sign and red lights? So you use user research, ask user questions, surveys to find out more about that topic. Then you have some ideation, design phase, and during those exploration phase, maybe you come up with an idea. Oh, this is great. But then, how do you know your idea actually works? That's when you have another phase of user research, maybe usability testing to test your ideas. So you have a few users, or maybe if the risk is small, you just bake into the A/B testing. Like the engineers will have an A and B version and ship it to the app, so different customers will see different versions, and then you get data that way, more quantitatively. And then if that works, and then you maybe refine it as a designer. You might refine the idea, you polish it, and then you hand off to engineers. They ship it. Whole cycle. So the main places where user research will happen is the beginning phase, and like after you have some solid ideas and concept phase, so you test those ideas. So that's like how user research fit into the whole product development cycle. And the empathy phase is typically the earliest stage. But of course, in the design phase, whenever you have things that you want to discover more, you want to use a test to figure out, oh, if this actually solves the user's issue, that's technically is empathy. So you will go back to the users and get your questions answered. So yeah, hope I answered your question. Tell me if I have not. And okay, we are at 9:22. I can take one last question. If not, we will leave it as it is today. I will give like a 30-second countdown for people to come in, say hi or buy. And yeah, hope everybody is having a great Saturday or Sunday so far, depending on where you are in the world. And hope the chat quality is okay. Okay, last question. UX design comes in stage 3 of the product development cycle, is that right? Okay, if you look at it very individually, yes, in stage 3. But in a real collaborative environment, it should not only come in stage 3. Design should be in all stages, including the very beginning product requirement gathering stage. In Silicon Valley, there's typically a thing called a product requirement document, product requirement doc, PRD. It outlines what the business issue is, what the problem is, what are the requirements of these features, the customer critical user journey, CUJs. Designers should actually help write that, because designers have the experience of looking at a problem and start empathizing with the users and see what can go wrong or right. So designers should really get involved at a very early stage, and all the way to handoff, testing, user research. Designers should also get involved, because the more designers get involved into research or any of those phases, you will start to get insights of, or connect the dots of, okay, this is users pattern of, okay, they like to do this, they don't like to do this. So you form a better mental model of users, so it helps you design later on in exploration phase, or not even just this project, in future projects. Design thinking or any framework will come in your design. Then when we do user research before design thinking, in design or in design thinking. So if you're not familiar with the product design cycle and how things will go from one or the other, or how things will all be connected, let me find a video for you. YouTube. There's a linear breakdown which captures the very core and fundamentals and the basics of it, but that is not all. For courses, okay, let me see if I can find a video. And nothing is really that linear and clearly delineated or clearly separated or divided in real life work environment. So you might want to know the actual breakdown and just know it, and maybe start your first project with it. But overall, it's not going to be as simple like that. So I sent out a video. It's about like 4 core design courses in UX design or design overall. One of them is about design process, and that's what you're talking about. What stage is what, the order of it, and where you can get more information and learn more about it. Look at the decks and all that. But yeah, I'll leave it as it is. You can take a look at the video. That video will also give you some information about how you can basically self-teach or become a self-taught UX designer by looking at all the free resources out there. And yep, I will jump for now. Thanks Subash for joining, and whoever else is watching, and I will see you all in the next live stream. Cheers.